Good morning, it's February 13th. It's about 7:15 a.m. We're off on another adventure, so stay tuned.
Oh, it's a beautiful day, a little chilly, but we're ready.
Yes.
Yay!
All right, we just made it to our first destination of the day, Wisconsin's first capital. Take a look. All right, we just got back in the car. It's a little cold out, so we're gonna just drive on over to that next spot. So as we're driving up here, friends, you're gonna see the first capitol that was established because the first leaders of Wisconsin realized that there needed to be a meeting spot that would be used to make decisions and hold other important meetings. So when they decided this, they got the pieces for the buildings and it was built off-site. So all the pieces were built in a different location and were shipped here and then put together kind of like a puzzle piece would be. Once it was put together, they have, as you can see, these two buildings. One of them was used for lawmakers to sleep and stay while they were having these meetings, because normally it would take a couple days, so they had to have a place to stay. And the other one was used as for the courthouse for the Supreme Court of the territory. As I look across the street here, I can see this is where the governor would stay, and that was his house. And it's still being used today by another family. They chose this location of Belmont to be the capital because of the lead mining that was going around at the time. It was really popular, and there was a lot of opportunity to be used to do some lead mining. So that's why they chose this location. So friends, one of the really cool things about the location of Belmont is that it's located in part of the driftless area of Wisconsin. So as we remember, as we were learning about the glaciers and the ice age, we remember that the driftless area is a spot where the glaciers had not passed over. So we are far away from where the ice age trail is because this is the driftless area. Another really interesting part about this land feature is that lead, as I mentioned earlier, was so prominent and just such an important part of the resources available here at this location.
And friends, as we learned with the trading post, when we were talking about fur trade and exploration, we found out that when people would get together at the trading posts and have these rendezvous and do their business, exchanges were made for certain items. Eventually, the Europeans were noticing different tribes were trading with lead bars. This was new to the Europeans, and finally they were able to understand from the native tribes where this lead came from. There were stores of lead in this part of Wisconsin inside the ground. Lead is something that needs to be mined for. This mining was happening by the native tribes in this area for hundreds of years before European settlers came here and started doing their mining. And we're talking about when these structures were put up here, it was 200 years after some of that time. So coming out of chapter 4 and into chapter 5, that kind of puts it into perspective.
So obviously, this is not our current capital of Wisconsin, Miss Chisholm. So what happened? Why did they choose to leave?
That's such a great question, Miss Spoyle. Well, here's the thing. One of the men who was a leader at this time, who was appointed the governor of the territory by the president, he loved being in this area of Belmont because he was really good friends with the man who built this town. He loved it here and felt like because of the location of this town, because of all the mining for lead that was going on around here, there was a lot of busyness back then in this Belmont area. Henry Dodge felt like this was a perfect place for the capital. He soon realized, though, the lawmakers weren't happy here, other people weren't happy here, that he had to change his mind. Because Wisconsin was still a territory, it was decided that Belmont would no longer be the capital. Believe it or not, Miss Boyle, they were going to move it to Burlington, Iowa, because Iowa was still part of this territory at that time. So by the time they got the new capital set up in Burlington, Iowa, Iowa was becoming its own territory. So guess what? They had to search for another place for a new capital. And that leaves us right at this spot is, where's the new capital going to be?
I wonder where that's going to be.